Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. This is your girl, Mommy So True. Guys, I'm so happy to be here with you today. Back with another video. Want to talk to you. If you're new here, special hello to you. And welcome to all of my day oneers. Goodness. So, you know what? You saw the title. You saw the title. What happens when you refuse a Hoover from a narcissist? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is so interesting to me because y'all, Hoovers are tests. Hoovers are tests. If you did not know, I want you to know today that Hoover experience with a narcissist is a test on so many levels. Number one, God is probably testing you because God probably saved you from the narcissist. So why are you tempted to go back from this darkness that you've just been lifted out of? Okay. Number two, the narcissist is testing you because they need to come back and finish you off. Think about that for a moment. There's a lot of different reasons why the relationship with narcissist ends. Sometimes it's because you made them leave. You pushed them away. Most of the time, that's really it. Narcissists literally get tired of you and they groom the next person so they can hop on to the next person and leave you hanging because it was never about you. It was never about you. So they come back because all they care about is the supply you have to offer. The supply you have to offer. And they come back when there's no other supply to go to, or life is going chaotic and they need to come back because you've always been the one available to help, maybe give some money, help them get out of some crazy stuff, or just be that warm body that they just need because they need somebody all the time. It's a necessity. Like they cannot thrive without having someone to control and abuse. Like it's so disturbing. Like seriously, these people are pathetic, y'all. Like these people sometimes will not Hoover you because you've caused enough damage. And I need a lot of survivors to really understand this dynamic because it really shows how much you have injured the narcissist. And if you've injured a narcissist, it's because you've been telling them about themselves. Maybe you didn't call them a narcissist, but you probably, told them like what you're doing is demonic. You're acting like a demon. You're causing me to feel like I am dying. You're literally killing me. With your words, with your actions, with your contradictive ways, with your lies, with manipulating me to make me feel like I am the issue. Even if we both have issues, why is it always I'm the issue? Why can't we ever face that you're the problem? Why can't we ever actually really resolve any issues? So many people have more strength than they realize because during that relationship, you start to set boundaries. Your switch up game really throws the narcissist off because at some point you were giving, they were taking. Then one day it's like you recognize it and you fall back and they get mad. They hate you for it. So they start planning your discard. Whether there's a new victim set up or not, they're planning to leave you because they cannot stand you. You're not easy to control anymore. You're talking back. You got rebuttals. You got defense. Like your defense mechanism went from fighting back physically to now throwing facts at them that they can't even avoid. Right? They're so used to winning arguments because you might have always backed down and just let them have it. But now the game switches because you are tired. And now you're talking back. And the narcissist being a narcissist, the pride gets in the way. You talking back, they are acting like a parent who is being disrespected. A narcissistic man will sit there and talk about, you don't talk to your husband with respect. You're not treating me with respect. Because you're refusing their disrespect. Because you're saying no. Because you've switched up the game, and instead of rolling over to be walked all over, you're standing up for yourself. And so that's one of the main reasons why some narcissists will not hoover. Sometimes taking pride in knowing that they've left you for dead is the reason why a narcissist will not hoover, because in their sick minds, they're waiting for you to crack, for you to ultimately hoover them, because they know you hurting and you care so much and you're going to want to follow up. These people discard you and they stay silent. They'll be gone for months. They'll be gone for months and years while you're sitting somewhere dying. And then here you are dying and suffering so much internally. You're tempted to pick up the phone because you don't have a support system. You're sitting here in your thoughts thinking about this person all the time. And throughout the relationship, this is probably how it went. You break up. You're the one begging them back, calling them, trying to fix it. You're the one sorry. What the hell are you sorry for? That's that trauma bond. That's that trauma bond when you're sitting there expecting a hoover, waiting for a hoover, hoping for a hoover. You're still trauma bonded, which is okay. As long as you know now what you're going through and you're choosing to recover, eventually it will dissolve. Eventually you're not going to care or want or need any type of hoover to seek any type of validation, because a hoover is not going to give you closure. A hoover is not going to give you closure. Narcissist is not going to give you closure. The only closure you will ever get after dealing with a narcissistic relationship is the education that you're obtaining about them, what you're learning about them. Now it's about radically accepting the facts of what you're learning and what you're hearing, and not trying to justify that they're good or that there's potential there, because there were good days and that there are some good memories. There is no closure. You'll never get it. They'll never reach out. Most narcissists are so cowardly that they'll hoover you from across the street in unmarked cars. They'll hoover you by making fake profiles because they know they can't come back. They know you're too real. They know you're over their shit. You've put up with it for too long. Ain't no coming back. Ain't no coming back. But they gotta, stalk you and hoover you silently to see if there may be an opportunity, to see if they should be competing. Should they be grooming some new victim to make it look like they're happy because you look happy, or because you're still depressed and they see it on your social media. They notice the post you're making. They notice you're not posting. They know you so well. They know that because you're not posting, you're probably still hurting. There's so many different reasons why they hoover and why the hoovering aspect comes into play with them. This is a game that they're playing. They're not hoovering you because they miss you and they want you back. They're hoovering you because they want to see what you've been doing. They want to know if they can still find new things to use against you, because while you've been discarded, you probably met someone new. You've probably slept with someone else. So now if you accept that hoover, they're going to hold that against you. Now you are a slut. You're the whore they always knew you were. You actually were waiting for the breakup so you could sleep around. You don't accept a hoover because a hoover is you going through mental torture all over again. You're going to be reminded of how unfit you are for them. You're going to be reminded of how you're the reason why they left in the first place, or you're the reason why the relationship could not hold up. You're going to be reminded why you were devalued, and you're actually going to walk right back into the devaluation stage. This is why you don't accept hoovers. And I gotta mention those who started praying and going to God and started to walk in wisdom. And wisdom teaches you that silence is the answer. You irritated this demon by learning to move differently. No need for rebuttals. Maybe that's what you used to do. Then you turned silent. You turned ice cold. You gray rocked. You went from being this dangly little pretty thing who was easy to manipulate, fool, and trick to gray rocking them. Now, try to move me if you want to. Try to push my buttons, insult me, criticize me, judge me, whatever. Bring up the past. Pinpoint things I've done to you. You know, try to play tit for tat. Because before they leave you or push you to leave them, they literally make it hard. They do whatever they can to piss you off, whatever they can to block blessings, whatever they can to continue to dim your light. But so many of you, before you even knew the term gray rock, you became their worst nightmare because you no longer cared to react. And so for those that get hoovered after that's been their experience, you've had to get police involved. You've had to get them locked up. They've gotten you locked up. The situation was just really ugly. You may never get hoovered. And if you do, that's dangerous. That means they're coming back to finish you off. They're pissed off that even happened. You probably exposed them. You've embarrassed them without even freaking trying. And so the attempt to try to hoover is dangerous. It's nothing to look forward to, nothing to be excited about. You're not about to be validated. You're about to be deceived even worse than before. And this time you may not make it. But so many people pick up wisdom. Their discernment becomes so sensitive and they learn to move smart. They put you out of character. But sometimes you have to be out of character to survive this person and their flawed character. And they will hate you for that. They will come back intentionally years down the road to finish the job, to take you back through the mud, to try to embarrass you, to try to make you go back and tell everybody that's not what happened. Actually, it was your fault. Actually, you're the problem. They're going to hoover to make you go back and tell everybody that it was never their fault. Go and clean their slate. Go and fix their reputation. And come back into this fake relationship and act like you're happy. Because when you take a hoover back after going through all that hell, everyone is looking at you. And as the victim, now you're more entrapped in the situation. Because now they're looking at you like you're unstable. Maybe you're lying. And eventually, sometimes victims become the boy or girl who cried wolf. That's part of the narcissist plan. Slowly poison you and isolate everyone from your life, from your circle, by making them look at you like you're the crazy one. By making the narrative seem as though you're unstable. A lot of covert narcissists get away with letting everyone on the outside circle think that their spouse or whoever is crazy. They'll even go as far as put you in a mental institution to prove that point. And the flying monkeys, they fall for it. It's easy to make the narcissist look good. And if you accept a hoover, that's exactly what you do. You confirm to the flying monkeys that all the rumors that they spread is true. The smear campaign must be true. That's why you don't accept it. So when you refuse the hoover, the flying monkeys are like, okay, she never cracked. He never went back to her. So it must be real that she was abused. He was abused. Some flying monkeys are narcissists themselves, and they will believe the narcissist till they die. They're going to be on their side, and that's fine. It's not about taking sides. It's about common sense. And some flying monkeys don't have that. They don't have any wisdom either because they're narcissistic themselves. And some are innocent to it because they've never seen evidence. They've never witnessed it. And the narcissist is so good at painting the story while you're so bad at it because parts of you don't really want to tell the real because it's embarrassing. You know, parts of you don't even care to tell the real. So you've hidden so much of it until you got fed up. And then some of you, you've held it in, you hold it in for so long that at the end of the relationship, when you start to let out everything that's happened, people are looking at you like, why did you stay? Why didn't you just leave? Or you sound crazy and they don't even believe you because it's hard to understand that you really just went through all of this with this person who looks perfect. You're complaining about a mom who everyone thinks is the best mom in the town. You're complaining now about this spouse of yours who everyone knows gives, who everyone knows is a pastor to the community. You walked away from that person. They want a Hoover to make you suffer for causing that type of shame and embarrassment, for adding to their narcissistic injury. When you refuse a Hoover from a narcissist, you're refusing to give them service. You're refusing to be the servant that they're used to you being. You serve in your words, you serve in your actions. You don't future fake. You say shit and you actually fall through with it. You say things and you make it happen. You commit and you really are committed. Discard you, then call you out the blue. It's been a year. It's been 5 years. Where are you popping up from? What do you want? What you looking for? Popping up through your circle of friends. You haven't heard this person's name in almost a year now. Boom. Somebody hitting you up talking about, oh, such and such liked my picture the other day. They're a narcissist. They're doing that on purpose. They're trying to make their presence known without letting it be known that that's what they're doing. Because they're manipulative. You don't accept Hoovers because you're literally being set up for another round of a narcissistic battle. It's going to be harder than it was before because they're coming back with more baggage. They've been out here sleeping with people, bringing home more diseases. You're going to probably get another STD. You accept that Hoover, that coochie is going to burn. Keep accepting Hoovers from that girl, that dick is going to fall off. They're not truthful. You cannot trust them. You don't know what they've been doing when they're not away from you. They made an argument to leave so that they could go out here and do God knows what, just to come Hoover you after not saying nothing to you for a year or so. It's a test to see if you're still vulnerable enough, broken enough, weak or soft enough to let them wiggle their way back in, to continue this wash, rinse, repeat cycle with your life again. You don't accept Hoovers because this person is still fake. That hasn't changed. And when you refuse a Hoover from a narcissist, they know that you know that. They know that you've really actually figured them out. It's very heartbreaking to a narcissist to know that their primary source of supply is ignoring them. You're silent. You have not said anything to them for months, for weeks, for years. And they know in their knowing that you really loved them to their core. They just could not love you back. And you've moved on. That hurts a narcissist. A lot of times they Hoover because of that pain. Some narcissists are too egotistical to let that pain, even exist. So they'll do whatever they can do to avoid feeling that, to avoid remembering that, to avoid knowing that. So they'll force themselves to find someone else, that person that they're going to spend the next decade trying to clone. Not going to work. There's only one you. There's only one you, and after you, they may be lucky to get someone sweet and nice, but that person is not you. When you refuse a Hoover from a narcissist, you allow them to self-destruct, because they will. They will. It's like this demon is running back to you because in some weird way, the world, the outside world is kicking their ass. Some narcissists come back hoovering because they need to come back under your protection. But when they left, they let God go. When they left, they told God, F you, God. I don't need you. I don't want you. I don't want your grace. I don't want this person, this valuable person you blessed me with. I don't want it. Take it back. So when you refuse a Hoover, you're refusing to allow them back into your world, to allow them back in to take your spiritual energy. So that forces them to remain out there and allow the devil to continue to destroy them as they have been. The devil is going to allow them to walk right into what they deserve, which is the narcissistic relationship that they have with that new supply. And I think God has a lot to do with that. They do you so wrong, they turn around and face their karma. Their karma is that new relationship that they thought was green, and it's not. That new relationship is nothing but hell. Matter of fact, that narcissist is probably being abused like never before. They're actually being cheated on now. When you refuse the Hoover, you allow them to get what they deserve out here. When you entertain the Hoover, you're blocking. You're in the way from karma happening. Get out of the way. When you refuse a Hoover from a narcissist, you're letting go and you're letting God. You're letting go and you're letting life run its course. You're letting them enter and get exactly what they deserve in this life, which is whatever that is. Honestly, that's none of our business. Because this person is so wicked that they put in work to deceive you and lock you down, only to make you feel imperfect, which ultimately almost destroyed you. When you have to break up with a narcissist, end your marriage, leave that relationship, or sit there and watch them do it to your life, destroy your family, rip your family apart, leave you guys, abandon you and your children. When that relationship breaks, it is heartbreaking to the core. And it leaves you empty. It leaves you in this narcissistic fog of what the hell and why the hell is my life right here? How did I get here? How do I get out of here? I don't even know how to formulate a plan to get out of this. They literally leave you on your ass to figure it out. No money. If you're lucky, maybe you did. A lot of survivors are left with nothing. Nothing. And will never receive an apology. Will never get an I'm sorry. I know I ruined your life. I know I messed up. I know I'm a messed up person. You'll never hear that. You'll never hear that from that narcissistic parent. You'll never get that I'm sorry. And you have to radically accept that. You'll never get that because you're dealing with someone who is incapable of really being sorry, because in their mind, they're not wrong for what they've done. In their mind, you deserved how they treated you. So wicked. All because they've been assigned to destroy your life, whether they know it or not. This is why you refuse a Hoover, because you're taking that L out of the word love and you're left with O-V-E-R. It is over. You got to make that clear to the narcissist. It is over. You've shown me that you are not the one for me, that you don't get it, that you do not deserve my love. So you damn sure don't deserve hearing my voice on this phone. You damn sure don't deserve getting a response from me via text message, because I know that's going to make you feel good to hear from me. The truth of the matter is, a narcissist at the end of the day ends up hoovering because they do recognize what they've lost. They're too narcissistic to admit that. But even your own narcissistic family members get to a point where they're hoovering you because they miss you. You brought a special light to that family, to that world, to that life, to that house. Their children miss you. Nothing is the same because you left, because you cut them off, because you've walked away, because you've accepted the discard for what it is, and you're not interested in rekindling shit. There's nothing to rekindle. The relationship is dead. They left you for dead, and there's no coming back from that. And when you refuse a Hoover, this is your way of letting them know, I am done. I am finally done. I am literally done. I am seriously done. You're not going to fool me again, because your Hoovers mean that you're just trying to see if I'm still trickable, if I'm still usable, if I'm still going to turn around and give while you take. So when you refuse a Hoover, you defeat the narcissist. Because accepting the Hoover is accepting that you're okay with them being a narcissist, and you're okay with being caught up in their narcissistic, toxic cycle that has nothing to do with love. You don't accept Hoovers because you're ultimately going to pay for being vocal. You're going to pay for setting boundaries, for saying no, for going against them and making your own decisions. They're going to make you pay for that, because narcissists don't let go of grudges. They still remember everything that you've done wrong to them since 1991. They've never forgiven you for anything. They've just been adding on. That's why they've justified themselves to mistreat you and justified themselves to walk away and discard you. That's why you refuse a Hoover. Because you let them know, hey, joke's on you. Hey, I'm not your fool. Maybe I was once upon a time, but that has changed. This is no longer that. This will never be that ever again in life. So deuces, goodbye, little girl, little boy. Take that narcissistic BS to somebody else, because you can't bring it over here. It's unwanted over here. Matter of fact, some of y'all are so smart, you change your number. Some people can't, because their numbers, are business linked and all of that. But shit, F that. I'm going to change my number. You can't even access me. I'm not going to be accessible to you. At least not easily. The only way you're even going to find out what I got going on is you got to creep up on my social media. Because I'm not talking about you. I'm not bringing you up with friends. I'm not mentioning you. I'm not looking for you. You are not in my radar. And when you refuse that, you refuse the Hoover, you make it clear to them that you are no longer that primary supply that they groomed you to be once upon a time. Been there, done that, and it's over with. And you're uninterested. So what happens when you refuse a Hoover from a narcissist is you ultimately pass the test. And if this is you, share your thoughts, share your story. Let me know how you feel. If you're going through it, and if you're being hoovered right now and you've been tempted, or you have, fallen for it, or maybe you've done the hoovering, talk about it. Because we need to talk about it. We need to heal. We need to understand what's happening. We need to know what to do and what not to do, so that we don't set ourselves back and that we don't stay stuck in the narcissistic web. All right? Thank you for watching. And if you need support, if you would like a one-on-one life coaching session with me, information is in the description box below, along with other contact information for you. Thank you so much for your ears and your heart. Have a great day. I will see you next time. Stay blessed and stay true. Bye, guys.